Bronzeville Neighborhood Association's monthly meeting. It's the second Saturday of every month. And our next meeting will be January the 11th at 3 o'clock at Bethany Presbyterian Church, 206 North Garfield Avenue, 43203. Just for those who are here and not here and watching, this is all good and we're glad that you're here. Happy holidays to everyone. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving and looking forward to the Christmas spirit and do some great things here. So we will start. I'm Willis Brown, President of the Bronzeville Neighborhood Association, and I'll start with the President's report. We have a lot to report, and there's a lot of good things that's happening in the neighborhood. And I have Dana Mason, our Vice President, who's going to speak about some more development. So I'm just going to give an overview of what's going on in the Bronzeville neighborhood. What we have done that's really fantastic, we like to think that we did something great, is that we created and renamed our downtown area. We said, what downtown do you have? We have Long Street from 20th to the east, all the way to Jefferson to the west, and we're calling that downtown Bronzeville. And it's not that we're creating it, we're just reviving it because it was that years ago. There was always some development in the area. It was always an exciting area. And the beauty and the difference between Long Street and Mount Vernon, which is our other corridor, is that Long Street is a residential corridor with commercial pockets. So that makes it a little bit different than Mount Vernon, which is a true commercial corridor. And with that being said, we said we need to promote our downtown. So we call it the downtown Bronzeville. We're going to keep calling that because it gives ownership, it gives the businesses, a sense of being. And we realize that we have 19 businesses in the downtown Bronzeville that are active and operating today. And we listed them. We have a flyer here that we sent out, and we have honored two of the businesses that are two of the oldest African-American businesses that exist on the Long Street in the downtown Bronzeville. One is the Batiste Florist. They've been in operation since 1941. And then the Cannonball in 1962. And both owned by African-American females and ran by them. And then we have a list of others. So this is just the beginning of us educating people in the neighborhood and outside the neighborhood what we have here and as we grow and develop. So that's our flyer. And then what we have done, we made two posters out of the flyer, and we're going to be sending them a letter. And we gave one of these to the Batiste Florist, they can hang, and also we gave him, this one is for the Cannonball, Miss Gail. And we're going to take this over there and present this to her. And we're going to be doing that throughout our time in promoting the downtown Bronzeville. And so we're very proud of that. We have to take ownership of what we have and not have people that will come in and determine who we are. We have to know who we are. So that's the beginning of us doing that. We also want to do some banners and come the spring. And do a lot more to at least identify the neighborhood for what it is. It's 1 square mile. And our boundaries are Broad Street to the south, I-670 to the north, Jefferson Avenue to the west, and Taylor Avenue to the east. It's about 1 square mile. In 1937, when it was incorporated and formed, it was 2 square miles. And we had the same two boundaries, north and south. It was Broad Street, and then it was the Pennsylvania Railroad, which is now I-670, and then it went to Woodland to the east and Cleveland Avenue to the west. So it's about 2 square miles back then, but we lost some ground to the downtown Bronzeville, downtown City of Columbus, downtown area, business district, to the west and to Woodland Avenue to the east. So that's okay. We have all the stuff in the 1 square mile. So we like that. And we're going to be featuring these assets that we have in the community as we go on in a flyer form to let people know what's here. On top of this, I'm just going to introduce that we have 7 structures that are out of the ground and that's come out of the ground in the last 5-7 years. Starting with the Atchison Loft apartments on Atchison. We have workforce housing. Yeah, sorry about that. On Atchison, we have the East Gay Street apartments on Gay Street. Then we have you're coming down, so you come to Long Street. We have the Adelphi. We have the Ogden. There's also the Illuminary, and we have the Deal coming out now, and we have the Frisbee, which is at Broad and Hamilton. So you have 7 buildings, and with those 7 buildings coming out the ground, that is an average of about $200 million in bricks and mortar, and an addition of over 500 units to the neighborhood. So a neighborhood with that going on right now is not a ghetto. And also I spoke with, the reason I bring it up because I spoke with Mrs. Rita Smith, who's our resident senior historian. And she said that we talk about the Blackberry patch like it was the whole neighborhood. She said, let me make it clear. Back then, the Blackberry patch was only 1 square block. Mm-hmm. And people tried to, she said, all around it was beautiful homes and professionals living. So the whole neighborhood was not a ghetto. It was never that. So we want to make it clear that those who see it as that, shame on them. It was never a ghetto. It was a neighborhood that was predominantly African American, that had economic challenges, but it had all people here of all economic levels. And the Blackberry patch was there at Champion and Long. It went north to Hawthorne, and then east to Meek, and that was it. And so it wasn't the whole area that looked like that. And so and then they tore it down and then built the Poindexter Village. So just to give people some reference that the neighborhood was never as a whole at that level. And then we also had followed up on a few things today. We are still doing street cleaning. We spent under the direction of Mr. Dr. Jim Rutherford and the community. We also helped fund that. And we were cleaning up the neighborhood, cleaning up the alleys, and we were able to get a small grant from PAC for $2,500 to start us off in the spring. We're going to get additional funds so we can have youth involved and give them a stipend to clean the neighborhood on a regular basis. We have a professional tree trimmer that we're going to engage in this process and trim the alleys so that we can have nice clean alleys. So we're in the effort to do that. So we at least have some money to start with in the spring. We're going to be looking to get additional funds. Council for, and we still keep running on this street calming devices. We've been asking that to slow the traffic down. We're still waiting to get that. Every time I go down there, there's always a long song and a dance, and they promise you everything but give you nothing. And I'm going to propose when I go again that you don't want to give it to us, that's fine. We just buy them ourselves. We have to begin to say, city, you don't want to spend our dollars on us. We just do it ourselves. So we're going to go and see them also. Street pedestrian lighting. Again, we have a lot of development going on. We need to light our areas so that we call the indigenous Bronzevillians can have lights in the streets that are going north and south, from Broad to Mount Vernon. In the neighborhood, we need pedestrian lighting to make our area more better, make it safer and also more walkable. We've also been asking and still have not received electric for our community park, Bronzeville Park on Spring and Hamilton. There's a whole bunch of reasons for that, so we're going to, again, keep pursuing that so we can have our jazz concert series this summer. And also, we've asked for funds for banners and beautification. And again, a lot of lip service, but nothing, here. But we also are working on a co-op grocery store concept with the OSU is part of it, the neighborhood is part of it, and we are working on that. We're going to a facility up in Detroit on Tuesday to see how they run their cooperative grocery store. And with a cooperative grocery store, we're saying this makes it so that we all own it. We can have membership. So we're working on the concept. And right now, the area we was talking about was across from the Lincoln Theater. There's one spot, but another spot that was looking more promising is between 17th and 18th that Second Baptist owns. And we are trying to work with them. They're also going with us on the tour up in Detroit next week to look and see how they're doing. But this seems to be more promising than saying we want a grocery store and we want someone to come in and do it for us. But we're saying we want a grocery store, so let us put our heads together and create something that's a cooperative type of grocery store that we're all responsible for its success and growth and development. So that's what we're working on now. And those are the things from the President's report that's going on, and there'll be some additional things, but I will stop there and pass over to the Vice President and hear his development report.
Good afternoon, everybody. Dana Masner, Vice President of the Bronzeville Neighborhood Association. Nice to have the turnout that we have and all those people watching online. We appreciate that. Invite you also to attend a meeting in person when you're available. And there are so many things happening in this neighborhood, positive things, that we are just excited to tell everybody about, and more things coming all the time. And the discussion around the world today is about 15-minute cities. I don't know if you're familiar with that phrase, but that means that everything you need is within a 15-minute walk or drive. Well, here in Bronzeville, that's what we have. We're working for the food store, co-op. We get that co-op, we're more than that. The latest thing they're talking about around the world, big cities, is 5-minute city. Guess what we are? Bronzeville is a 5-minute city. You can go from any end, any side of Bronzeville, on Jefferson to Taylor in 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. You can go from Broad to 670 in 5 minutes. And guess what we have? We have a hospital. We have a theater. We have doctor's offices. We have churches. We have schools. We're going to have a food store. We have residents. We have apartments. We have townhomes. We have parks, bike paths, bus stops. We've got everything. Okay, so we're a 5-minute city. We consider Bronzeville a city within the city. So that is really good news. We're what so many people want to be. So going from that, we're in a festive season. We have to let everybody know that the Luminary, which is a partnership between Kelly Development and Shiloh Baptist Church, had their big ribbon cutting this past Thursday. It was a cold day, but there were a lot of people there. The Luminary is at Hamilton and Mount Vernon. And this is a several-year project that the previous pastor, who has passed away, Reverend Gilliard, worked on. And with President Willis Brown, he helped bring the parties together. Kelly Development and Shiloh Baptist Church. And they're also the ones that worked over there beside East High Street with the Baptist Convention, which also is a beautiful project over there. So Shiloh and Kelly have a partnership, so they will, however they came up with the agreement, share what comes from that monetarily. But they've added affordable housing to the neighborhood. There's already people in there. And the tour was very nice. Upstairs on the roof has a beautiful view of downtown. And when you're in the lobby, you look toward the front steps in the church entryway of Shiloh. It's gorgeous. So we got President Willis Brown spoke right before the ribbon cutting, and many of us talked with the Shiloh people. Second Baptist had people there. Broad Street Presbyterian had people there. So it was a good turnout. And congratulations to both parties. This is the first partnership, the first building out of the ground where a church has taken the land that it held as vacant land and turned it into housing. And President Willis Brown and myself have been talking about this in the neighborhood before City Council, before anybody and everybody for 20 years. This is the first one to do it. Now, there's other ones that are wanting to do it, talking about it. But Shiloh, congratulations. And then we had the interesting meeting Wednesday at Broad Street Presbyterian. This was packed, brought forth approximately 6 developer teams with proposals for the Taylor Street corridor. And so that involved properties from Old Leonard across from Care Point East, surrounding Care Point East, going up Maryland, going down Taylor, including Pilgrim Baptist, including the corner at both corners at Mount Vernon and Taylor on the west side. So you had the tall historic building, you had the vacant lot directly to the south. They were in play. So these various developers, some of them had their architects with them. Other people made discussion points. They're presenting to the community. It was kind of initial community presentation of the possible development teams that PACT had selected for these sites. And it still has to go through several hoops and several presentations to the community and Erie Area Commission, back to Bronzeville Neighborhood Association, because we always like to meet and talk with these people and give them our blessing or suggestions. So it was a wonderful turnout. They had lots of pizza, they had city people there, and it was a good discussion. And amongst the things that were said, one proposal for Pilgrim included using the whole school and making it into housing with an additional building as part of the mix. Another team suggested removing all of Pilgrim except for the facade, the front of Pilgrim. And then we had another developer who made a very interesting point, and he said, it's time that we bring the statue of Elijah Pierce back to the neighborhood. And Willis and I, we laughed, President Brown and I laughed, because we've been saying that to City Council for over 20 years. We're talking about the big statue there at Washington and Long. You see the parking garage, and then you kind of see this statue in the parking garage. And we keep saying, bring them over here. And we wanted them in the intersection at Hamilton and Long and make a little rotary around it. We've talked about that forever. But this developer, without talking to us, said, we got to find a place to bring him home. He needs to come back to the neighborhood. So that's exciting. Now other people are starting to see the same thing. That's good. So we're going to find him a home over here somewhere. Right, exactly. So that was good. So the PAC proposal is exciting because the Taylor Street corridor is one of the major development locations where a lot of things can happen simultaneously. And they've already made the street improvements, new curb, sidewalks, repaved the street. So this is the next step, and it would be a multi-year project. So there's a possibility that a developer or two could get everything, or it could be mixed up between various developers. But it includes from the Hayes-Henderson house, where President Hayes originally had the house, and then the Henderson family had it for a long time. Now it's under the control of OSU, Wexner. And so it starts with that property surrounding there, like I said, all the way down to Mount Vernon and Taylor with the historic tall brick old pharmacy building. So then we had one of the development teams made a statement, and Columbus Underground is available to everybody, but I was scrolling yesterday and I read this on Columbus Underground, and I thought, sometimes fact is stranger than fiction. So I'm going to quote exactly what was on Columbus Underground yesterday, 13th of December. The 48-unit complex, now called 476 Taylor, that's directly across from the Care East OSU, was originally called the Bronzeville. But Aaron Keese and his partners found they kept getting calls from Chicago residents who mistakenly thought it was located there. I read that and I thought, what? See, Chicago Bronzeville, that's the original Bronzeville, okay? Now, flashback 10 years, 14 years, President Willis Brown and myself and another person who's no longer in the neighborhood drove to Chicago Bronzeville. We were there 2 days. We went to the main Bronzeville, beautiful building, met with people. They gave us a tour. We talked about what we're doing, what they have done, what we want to do. So they know of us. They know about us. We know about them. We communicated with Bronzeville, Milwaukee. So when I read this statement about Chicago residents confusing us for Chicago, something strange. So, but actually, we're happy that we are changing the name because Bronzeville is on the Woodland side of the table. So, keep Bronzeville Bronzeville. So whatever you want to do is fine, but the explanation is just a little strange. So, so we have that. Then finally, we have streets and safety. Streets are a big issue in all the neighborhoods, as is safety. One of the big things that we have happening in progress is the bike lanes on East Broad Street from Parsons to Exit, right there on the other side of Valley Creek at Nelson Road. And if you haven't seen it, you need to go drive down the street. It's now 2 lanes going each way, no parking on the street, and you still have bus stops. But they have these nice big plastic barriers with bumps flanking them that are going down both sides for the bike lanes. You're protected. It's best bike lane anywhere in the city. This is a test to see how future bike lanes will be developed. And today, I saw the first bus stop. If you're familiar with what they're doing, they're raising like a pad for the bus to come up so they're level with the curb. You go up a ramp, they're on this flat, and then you go back down. The first one in progress is right there at the Columbus Foundation at Champion and Broad. And so when the bus drops down, it kneels down so somebody gets on with a wheelchair. They roll off the curb, just flat like this, right into the bus. There's no issues with the curbs, with the flooding from the curbs, the broken curb, none of that. So we're going to have numerous things like this going on both sides. So we're the first one, Franklin County, to have anything like this. Again, we're the 5-minute city. Everything is happening. Now, the other thing that in Mount Vernon is going to also have some major improvements very soon. They're still in the production drawings that involves curbs, bike lanes, I think some utilities, trees, sidewalks. It's going to be so nice because Columbus Landmarks is also in process for the historic district. Historic designation on Mount Vernon. They're moving forward on their progress. So we have all kinds of things happening on Mount Vernon. So finally, we come to safety issue on our streets. One of the big concerns is Elijah Pierce at Long Street. Now, we've had this intersection there for 10 years when they did the cap and they had the historic wall, culture wall, and all that. If any of you go down Long Street every day, which I do several times a day actually, you are lucky if you go 3 weeks without a major accident at that intersection. And it seems like they always hit that low wall on the northeast corner, and the bricks and the stone cap go, and they fix it over and over again. There's at least 5 accidents a year there. So we're talking like 50 accidents in 10 years. The reason for that is when you go west on Long Street, again, it's right there at Elijah Pierce. You need to turn right, head up toward 670. People are coming down from Broad Street on Elijah Pierce, and you have people from downtown. It's all one way out of downtown until you hit Elijah Pierce and suddenly turns 2 way. There's such confusion there. There are accidents all the time. So we have a solution. City of Columbus is turning more streets downtown 2 ways. They did that with Front Street. They did it with Civic Center Drive. They're talking about doing it on Main, on Rich Street. Come on, City. It's time to make Long Street 2 ways all the way down to Grant, because that allows our people to go downtown. It encourages all kinds of activity. It will eliminate the confusion with those accidents in Elijah Pearson Home. And it slows down the traffic. So there's a lot of good things happening. So I'll give it back to President Brown.
Yeah, and this we're gonna have questions after. I just want to make 2 more comments. One, we're happy with the luminary, with the building, with Shiloh and the Kelly Company. We have Keith Early, who's a member of Bethany, who lives there. So he was moved to another level in life when he left Old Oaks and came to the Promised Land. So we're glad to have him there. And soon from now, he was telling me he had lunch with some of the dignitaries, in the downtown area, because they all come to Bronzeville. So it's nice to have you here. And also the Maroons Art Group received a large grant of grants to renovate their building and do some things with that, and we are happy for that.
Yeah, and if I may add specifically, they got $800,000 plus from historic tax credits from the state. It was the only project in Central Ohio to receive the tax credits. Mm-hmm. So that goes a little bit toward what they want to do. Congratulations, we're looking forward to that project. It's a long time before they get what they want. But it's a good start.
Good start, yeah. So again, we're again saying that we have these assets in the neighborhood, so we're supporting them all so people come. We also have new residential development on Mount Vernon. New houses are going in the ground. We had a site hearing not so long ago. Individual homes are coming in. So this is all good. We have the big building, but also have the apartment, the buildings inside the block and in the neighborhood. So that we get a little bit of everything. And again, we like to say in Bronzeville that we want everyone here from Section 8 to 6 or 7, 8 figures. We need the both. And which is nice because it's small. We don't have about 1 square mile, but we want a little bit of everything. So we want it to be that. It was designed that way 100 years ago, that you move up and into the neighborhood, not up and out. So if you here at the edge and you see an apartment, as things change, you find a house that comes available, you move into that house and you stay in the neighborhood. So we have to have housing for everyone. And I know everyone likes to promote, we have to have affordable living, we have to have affordable housing, but let me make it clear. What we're saying here, we need to have structures that have mixed incomes in them. You cannot build and put poor people all in one thing. That didn't work when they first started in the 40s with the projects in New York and Chicago. Is a problem. So we want people to understand we have to have a structure that has all incomes in it. And you can have, a percentage. So this is what we are covering, because that keeps the building alive. The owners get to have additional funds so they can maintain it. If you put it, same thing with seniors, the same very thing. So we want our structures to have a mixture that it's affordable to most people with different incomes. And we're supporting that. And so we'll stop there for a moment, and if you have any questions, I have a comment from our secretary there.
Yep, just 2 items that I want to touch base, including the meeting. So there was a site meeting at 1378 Mount Vernon Avenue, which Bronzeville was present for that, and we're going to move forward. They're going to cover the porches. They're going to put the porch coverings. They're going to also include sidewalk and fencing to divide the church's parking lot and make it real nice and neat, because there's going to be a 3-unit development coming there. And so we worked for it. We voted. The commission voted for it to pass, and we also agreed to that. Also, want to let everyone know there's a QR code on the website to vote for the co-op grocery store. We've already got 300 and counting. We need 500, and it's already on the website. You just go and so it's going to be on the Bronzeville, the Neighborhood Association of Bronzeville, and we'll also pass out some
You have some of the cards with you?
Stephanie and I helped pass out paper copies.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Okay, so good,
Excellent.
good.
We've done the paper, that's enough.
Yeah.
But if you prefer digital option.
Yes, so there's a digital option to go online as well to look for that because we need 500 and we have 300 in county. So that's it for secretary. And next thing is treasurer's report.
Yes. Our treasurer report will go, and then we have some questions. Yes, treasurer. You don't have a report today? Okay. That's what happens when you have so much money. You know, that's the point. No. We always have to. But we'll get one for next time. Our next meeting will be January 11th, and at that meeting we will encourage those. We try to work here with Bethany. At that meeting, we want to have like a holiday treat. So more so, it won't be more administrative. We can do like a potluck. So we'll work that out. But we'll still have a brief meeting. But we want to have we can meet for a short time and then mingle and talk and eat. So we'll look that for our January 11th meeting to be that kind of. We have something you are crazy to bring and share. Feel free to bring that, and we'll arrange for us to have a short meeting and fellowship with a potluck and some food here, and we'll do that on January 11th. And so keep that in mind. Now, we said a lot, and if you have any questions, oh, by the way, we also have another person who is buying a house here in Bronzeville. Yeah, and we have from the city attorney's office.
Hello.
Yes, you can state your name and state where you're getting your house, and that you were just so happy to be here.
I am. I'm actually really excited to move to the neighborhood. I've been talking about it for weeks since I found the house. My name is Kim Magicum. Hi, everybody. I'm buying a house and moving to the neighborhood. Hopefully by the beginning of January, if not sooner. I'm moving on North Monroe. So nice to see everybody. Nice to meet y'all. Thank you.
And that's by the old Monroe Middle School.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. We're having it. And this is really exciting for us. We have Motique, our secretary, who the young mother and parenting and professional. And we have another. We say people said this wouldn't happen, that we won't get young people. But we are getting them, and we are happy for that.
Yeah.
And we're glad that's happening. Thank you.
Thank you.
And any other questions? Before we're going to get to Bruce, who's going to give us an update on our program with Trevitt and the education, because that's a key component that's really been a negative for us in the neighborhood is our school system. So we have a question. Then Bruce, you can.
You mentioned affordable housing. I know it's a pain, and you said you want mixed income.
Yeah.
Have you done a study to know what the incomes are when they're renting these places over here in Shiloh? To see, are they affordable? Are they market value? When the meeting I came, Kelly said they're going to be market value. Not according to what I understand those places are rented for. They're not affordable. And you said you want certain percentage affordable. What's affordable to you, Willis?
Well, it changes every year. You have.
Tell us this year.
Well, I think this year for a one-bedroom is anywhere between $900 and $1,000 for a one-bedroom apartment.
Where's that at?
That's in some of these buildings that have so many apartments that are in that range. Well, the Adelphi starts at $800 and go up to or for a one-bedroom and efficiencies. So it depends on that. What we're saying is that even at Kelly's place at the Luminary, if you have a Section 8 voucher, you can still get an apartment. They have to have so many of those in the building.
Okay.
So the buildings have to have so many that would accept vouchers. But what's happening is, I think what is happening now, the economies of scale. To live in any place today is no longer the $300 rent anymore.
We understand that.
So now we just have to keep the developers that they have to have so many of the apartments available. Those who have a Section 8 voucher, those who have different income, but we have to keep that mix. And if it adjusts, we have to stress that they have to get funds to do that, to keep it where it's a mixture. So that's all we're saying. How that mixture is, we don't know all those details, but we're going to force them to
monitor that. I'd love to see you monitor a little closer.
Yeah.
To see really what happens.
Okay.
Kelly says one thing, now what did they do? The other question I have is that what percentage of African Americans are receiving any of those jobs as they do construction and do housing?
I'm glad you brought that
Yeah,
up.
because Kelly, we challenged Kelly before with that.
No, let me tell you.
Break it down.
I'm glad that you said that because Dana and I, let me tell you, I'm so happy you did.
But come on.
Dana and I went down to city council years ago and we begged Michael Coleman, all the administration,
Boy Stafford, Department
the
Development.
Department of Development that the Pilgrim School should have been a trade school. I said, we have people coming out of the prisons. And you know what them people did? They said, forget that. That's not what we're here for. Let me tell you. So what we don't have now, we should have an army of African Americans working on these buildings. But our own black folks, who are the administrators, didn't want to listen to us. Because it's down in the transcript. And I will tell that. Blame them. Because we said no. We told them this development was on its way. They laughed at us. They said that Bronzeville.
Who owns Pilgrim School? Let's get the facts.
No. What I'm saying.
But
No, but before.
public school.
No, but it was an empty vacant school. We told them to convert it. OSU. Drew Cap.
I didn't know. 'Cause
I'm
I
just
can
saying.
see them buying OSU and across the
Well,
street.
no, let me tell you. So when it was owned by the Department of Education, we told them this is what we want it to be.
Dr. Harris,
And Dr. Harris, we went and had 2 meetings with her
in
about
person, Board of
that.
Education.
And she said, nope, that's not what we're here for.
No.
So, and then the public, our black mayor, we went to them and said, this Michael Coleman, we said, listen, this building craze is going to come. That's
16 years. You probably.
what I'm just saying. So the fact that we don't have, and all our buildings are built by Mexicans, other people, that's fine. But the fact is we cannot blame them. We must blame those that look like us, that did not put the seeds in the ground so that we can have an army of people that look like us building these buildings. So no. And I just want the buildings built. And if they speak another language, that's all right with me, because we had the opportunity to make sure our people had those skills and they refused. So I'm glad you brought that up, because they need to hear what they did to us. And now we gotta suffer because our people that have the skill or have something don't have a place to learn. And look at those job sites. This isn't Kelly for or whoever. It is people that look like us that did not listen to us. If you go down to the transcript, you will see us week after week. We need to begin to prepare our people with these trades. The ex-offenders could have all been schooled. We could have brought the SMOOT in to help with the teaching of the construction industry. And look today, we don't have it.
And
It's sad. It's
also,
What is Trinity doing? What's Trinity?
Well, Trinity-
What's their vision? What's their vision of that parking lot?
one
sad. Okay, I'm
on
gonna give you that in a
Trinity,
minute.
OSU, African American Studies Center, was very involved in the community for many years, and we had many meetings in that building. Many of us here participated in those 15 years ago, right up to the last 3 or 4 years. And other people online participated. How many discussions did we have about this very issue? Senator Ray Miller, all the other politicians that were there, over and over, we said what was going to happen, what's going to happen. Look what's happened. We don't have it. We said this
They
would
didn't
happen.
believe
We
it.
didn't do it.
Yeah.
So here we are. It's a little bit late, but it's still, there's so much construction. If you can find people for construction, that's the big problem right now. There's not enough construction people to begin with, no matter what their color, what their education, whatever. They come from Kentucky, West Virginia, Southern Ohio, everywhere, because we're a boom town. All these construction sites, there's like 6 20-story buildings being talked about downtown. Okay, 4 of them right there around the old YWCA across the McCaffrey. And there's a down on Ridge Street, on Main Street, you name it. Where are the people coming from? We don't have them. They're going to have to come from Tennessee and South Carolina and everywhere for all this construction. So
This is where, yeah, and so that's why I said. So we have to tell that. So we're gonna keep hoping that we can get some team of African American construction workers there. Yes, our Ms.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to add to what she was saying, and I just want everyone to know I'm definitely for like mixed income. So like even though I own my home and you know where my home is located, you know there's homes that's $500 million, close to $1 million selling. However, on that same street, you have low income which a lot of people are complaining about how they keep up their home. So not only do we want the mixed income, we want everyone to value where they live also, and I just want everyone to know I'm definitely working with Mr. Brown to make sure everyone is doing that, because we do have $1 million homes in our area now, just so everyone knows. So, and half of a million, but so I'm definitely working with Mr. Brown to ensure that not only we have the variety, but also everyone is taken care of where they live.
So this is all good. So we sometimes we get passionate about because we put the time in and we saw this and it's just like
how many years are you talking? How many years
over
ago are you
20
talking
years.
about?
Over 20 years.
Okay,
20
so
years.
things have evolved since then, Brown. You
Yeah.
gotta get out the mud. This is where get the mud clear.
Yeah.
We need clear mud. That was 20 years ago. What do we know today?
We
And this is, let me qualify it. I went down to the State of Ohio Library, looked up every demographics in every zip code. You see what the percentage of African Americans in, how many graduate from high school, We got to get current with what we do know. That was 20 years ago. Things have changed, and we're looking because we were concerned about Intel and our folks getting jobs at Intel. And you look at the communities where they're going to be at. Mickey,
right.
New Albany has a 99.9 college graduate rate in that block. We got to look at the facts of what do we know and what we don't know. And we got to get current today, not 20 years ago. The other concern I have is, have you talked to your representative here? Shayla's going to be the prosecutor. Now, are you concerned about who's going to cover this area now?
You're doggone right, because let me tell you
What you going to do about it?
No, let me tell you why. I'm going down to council to make it clear. Let me tell you what Ms. Favors did to us.
Well, talk to me.
I'm going to talk to you right now. We had an issue with the same Pastor Davis church with Trinity, and they're going to build a senior home with National Church residency, which is fine. But then we had some discussion, with some controversial stuff. So when it came to the vote, we had this going on. Now, when it came to the vote, the vote was 9-0. Now, if you represent us, and you know that we had some conflict, we had legitimate concerns about that development. The least you can do as representing us is give us your vote. You already had 8 people voting for the situation. We didn't even get, she is our representative. We didn't even get her vote. It was 9-0.
What did she say about it? Did you question her?
Well, yes, I
What did
did.
she say?
No,
What did she say?
I'm going for the project. Yes, you can be for the project, but you got to show the people that you represent. The project already had 8 votes out of 9 going forward. So again, it's the process of understanding when you represent citizens, you have to let them know that, not give us the lip service that you went for the project. Yes, we know you support the project, but you got to support us. And that's the fallacy of the redistricting that we have now, that everyone's at large. So we are saying that that's the problem.
But the other concern I have is on national church residency. Read their history. Get factual. I don't support national church residency and how they treated black folks. Read their history. Get to know about it.
Okay.
We are not advocating for national church residency because they have done a slave mentality on black folks.
Wait,
Plantation mentality. Know your history. Read about national church
let me tell you,
residency. When they started off like here, little small and built on the backs of black folks.
Well, let me tell you
Read that
this.
history.
Now, I'm glad you did that. So that's why we had discussion when we had our historic black church, Trinity, joining with them.
Yeah,
All right, then. So you see, sometimes the slave master isn't always white. It looks just like you and me. All right, so the question should come to, why did they join with them? That's the issue.
Money.
Well, okay, we know that. So
We know
the bottom
that
line
too.
is, this is what we are dealing with today. So we have to be front and center about the racial discrepancies and the history, like you said. So we know our history, and we question that. And guess what? It's still happening. Everyone's all proud, but this is what happened. So it's all good. See, Bronzeville has the reputation. We look at the history about Bronzeville, the Bronzevillians. So we're embodying that thing that we are going to always stand up for right, no matter what color you are, what group you are, it doesn't matter. As long as you live here, We want
We
equality.
need more
and
voices to the table. It's my only concern about Bronzeville. We need more voices. Not just you two. We need more voices.
And they're
And
coming.
let me say this to correct your minutes. I just come from a room that had played today, didn't they? Urban Streets, they're open on the soft measure. They're open and they're functioning. I just talked to Sheila McNeely. They are opening.
Right.
They have done fantastic work over there.
Yeah.
We have to praise her because she said, I didn't want the whites to get this. And
Right.
she built that and got the money and it's black owned.
And
We got to
support that.
praise the good stuff.
And you heard us that we brought praise to them when this now we mentioned that. So we support that. We're saying that's the beauty about Bronzeville. We support all the good things for everyone to be comfortable here. And we're not going to take any mess out of that because we know our history. We've always been a community since it was formed officially in 1937 to always look out for the benefit of the community. And the churches played big roles in that. Except for, things have changed. But we're here for that. We love this. This is what we are. Because we know what we're doing is the right thing. We must first organize ourselves and then have a vision and put things together. We have our Brownsville Communication Network out of a vision to communicate with people. That's up and alive and doing well. We're dealing with the education system through Bruce. We're doing our beautification through Dr. Rutherford. So we're doing and the development committee, we're doing all these things so that we can have these things. But you're right. The city for proper representation is not that. So whoever comes in there, and I'm going down to council on
I'll
Monday.
be there Wednesday too. You need to challenge
I'm going down on Monday and let them know what we expect. Wednesday they can pick who they want, but I'm going to tell them what it is because it's set up that they have full control of who they put in there. We don't have that kind of control. And that's what we tried to tell people. So yes, if they pick someone, they will know that they're going to be over Bronzeville. You're not going to do what Shayla Favors did, but not giving us a representative vote when we come in things like this. You must stand by us. And if not, then we got a problem with you.
And National Church residents and Mr. Davis, Trinity, several here also went to the commission meeting back in July and discussed this. We brought up concerns about National Church residents, big concerns that we wanted to address. After the meeting, we were out in the hall. I was verbally and also physically assaulted by Mr. Davis in the hallway. All kinds of witnesses. The commission heard it, saw it. He had to be restrained. 2 times he said, in the name of the Lord, I'm going to take you out. Fist raised, came at me. I went down to the city prosecutor's office, filed action. They didn't do anything. I tried to get a protection order. They didn't do anything. All right? So that is a result of us standing up to National Church residents and Mr. Davis. Okay? He had 2 services online, 2 following Sundays, where he threatened to take us out. He said, I know where they live, okay? So everybody knows. So you need to know, we've challenged National Church residents. I've been to their property up there on Henderson Road and delivered 2 documents cataloging all this. So they're aware of it. So they have their project. The commissioner chair signed off on it. She let them have the vote, okay? So don't you for 1 second doubt the concerns and the willingness to have a backbone that we have, okay? Because we really did stand up. I got threatened physically because of it.
Yeah. So we're good. You're gonna have Bruce with the education, and then our faithful and very, very wonderful commissioner to speak in a minute. But we have Bruce here.
So here's where I'll start off. I will start off with telling you I'm coming to you with warm wishes, encouragement, and support from Mrs. Walker. She's definitely engaged, interested, and just give you her best. So it was there for a little bit over an hour just before coming over here. So I wanted to share that with you. So she's in good spirits and doing well. We'll just remind the group this Bronzeville Strong Start program, which is a learning initiative for the young. I want to remind the group just briefly that this is an outcome of a number of different efforts, both that were supported and have been supported by the Bronzeville Neighborhood Association, the Near Neighborhood Partnering Ministry of Broad Street Presbyterian Church, and an organization that Mrs. Walker and Willis Brown and others are part of, called Bronzeville Rising, in which we were listening to the neighbors about what was the most important thing that they wanted done in the neighborhood. Took over a year, did focus groups, and then initiatives were kicked off. And a couple of those, one was the Bronzeville Communication Network that came out of that work. And you know about that. We also had the Near Area Youth Collective, which is doing a number of different things. Actually, this group, in regards to the food cooperative, was an initiative that came out of that. And the beautification effort that is going on with the district attorney alternative sentencing program and others that are volunteering in the neighborhood to beautify the neighborhood. And we'll get up on the Bronzeville Communication Network just some of those pictures of before and after of all the work that's been done there, which is just outstanding. So I'm just going to share with you a couple of those things. But one of the other initiatives more recently had come up that we've talked about here before is the issue about the education of our youth. And so you talked about, you want some recent stats. I mean, the most recent stats on our youth for the public school that the majority of our kids go to, are supposed to go to, Revit, is 3% of the kids by third grade are achieving proficiency. That's current, that's 3%. That's current, that's stats. And we have different 3%. And if you go to some of our other neighborhoods that are more heavily resourced, it's nothing close to them. I mean, they're in the high 80s to high 90s. And you know what that means for a child going forward in regards to graduating high school. And if you don't, they're not going to. And you know where that means in regards to them being at full potential in regards to employment and contributing, or going to prison. It means they won't be full potential, and they are high potential for going to prison. So what we said is that we need to work on this, and we need to work on the very young as they're born until third grade at least, and then look for support beyond that. And in our community, there's a wide variety. Those that can strive to move out of here with their kids, but where the majority of our kids, and you'll see in regards to income levels. Again, Sue, now you just got me a little bit programmed on recent stats, so apologize, but you're the one that called it, so I'll do that for you. Our income levels differ in our community. South of Mount Vernon, the income level is about $44K for a family. North of Mount Vernon, it's $14. So just think of the differential there. And I'm going to just go through just a couple of other things. So poverty level, 14% below Mount Vernon. North Mount Vernon, 64%. I'm not going to bore you because I'm going to just do one last one and then we'll move on to one other thing. Average age below Mount Vernon, 41. Above Mount Vernon, 22. That's a big... And those of us that know the neighborhood, been around, we know that feel. But just to make sure you ask for current stats, those are the most current stats. Thank you. Just for a feel. Wow. So what we were doing on the Bronzeville on the Bronzeville Strong Start program is working with both the families to provide them the social service support, because if you're not housing stable, you don't have food, you don't have clothing, skip schooling. It isn't going to happen. Mm-hmm. So we're working on that side. We're also working to support and encourage parents of kids. And then we're doing tutoring with the kids to give them extra support. I can tell you, we had a pilot program that we started We had oversubscribed for this first portion, but it was small. But we learned, and that's what was the goal. And we're going to expand it this next beginning of this next year with a number of different partners. What do we need? We need additional volunteers. We're hiring additional staff for this, professional folks, and we're going to need some money and then some prayers. To be honest, that's what we're going to need. Now, the good part that I'm able to report back to you, the pilot. I mean, the kids that we're seeing that are coming in are doing outstanding.
Wow.
Their progress. The parents are going, wow, we're seeing a difference. The teachers are going, the confidence of these children now, what they're achieving. It's only been, we've just started for a couple months. But let me just see if I can give you one last thing. So we have a number of testimonies. I'll give you one, then I'll be quiet.
No.
Because you guys had so much energy at the beginning. So here's just one testimonial. The Strong Start program arrived just when I needed it, as my son was facing challenges in kindergarten, and I was searching for ways to support him. He eagerly looks forward to his tutoring sessions. The program has not only alleviated my stress as a parent, but has sparked a passion and confidence for learning in him. Watching him thrive and grow with each session has been a rewarding experience. His classroom teacher has noticed improvements in his participation and enthusiasm in the class. It's heartening to see how the small steps we're taking today are laying a strong foundation for his future education. I'm grateful for the support and resources that the Strong Start program is providing and allows us to navigate this journey together with optimism and hope. So I'll just close with that, and we'll look forward to providing additional.
That's good. And again, for those who want to get involved, feel free to contact me, and we'll get in touch with you as a volunteer with Bruce. And we need everyone's help and support and volunteers. So
Volunteers, money, prayers.
It's rare.
And what school are you working with?
We are working with anyone that actually that's an important point. We are working with any school that will work with us, but our focus is any child that's in Bronzeville and lives in Bronzeville.
Yeah.
So we work with Trevitt, we work with United Prep, that's a school here.
Yeah.
We work with kids that'll go to Mansion Day. We'll work with kids that go to other schools outside of our geography, but the kids live here.
Yeah.
So
This is good. We're taking charge like we did 100 years ago in Bronzeville. They took charge, then we're taking charge again. And I know Commissioner Hutchinson is waiting.
Yes.
That's good. But we want to hear from our BCN guy. He's out of town. He's back now. He had to get his head clear because so much stuff was coming. And also, if you can also briefly talk about the neighborhood house and what's going on. I mean, I can now other than I can briefly tell you the neighborhood house is they're looking to redo it and do some things, and we want to support them in that. And also we want to build it up so they can have multiple events, whether it's basketball, boxing, gymnastics, whatever. So we want to support him. We're going to be trying to find ways to support Mr. Moses and his mother who purchased that. And Marty also works with them to try to help do things there. So you can just mention that you're doing that, but also tell us about BCN and
our mural.
that's right.
There's so much that happened over the last 2 months.
Yeah.
With boxing. Even though I couldn't get a event here in Columbus, I went to Greensboro and ended up doing that one 2 weeks ago and got 2 more.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just really snowballing on me there. I still want to do boxing here.
Right.
I wanted to bring that to Beatty outside.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the neighborhood house, I don't know if that's going to work or not.
Right.
I'd like to, but unfortunately, things in boxing have changed quickly. And it's just growing. I mean, I'm headed to Africa.
Wow.
But I'm going to stream it all on BCN.
Excellent.
And it's going to be free. I want everybody at BCN to be able to see it. And I got to go back to Bruce just for a second, because this is another relationship that I have. Somehow I seem to I'm turning everybody and start coming out of the woodworks when I get back into those connections in boxing. But there was a young lady, her name is Erin Lombardo. Her dad is the. But her dad is. He does all of the drug testing for the NFL, the NBA, and Major League Baseball. Now, Nikki Dawkins came to one of your meetings. That is somebody you definitely should reach back out to. I know Nikki probably didn't tell you everything, but you're looking for everything that she's probably got. You know, from athletes to ballers. They're doing several cities. We tried to do Columbus. Once boxing called, I had to pull away and go do that. But that's somebody you should definitely reach out to. It's just so much with BCN. I'm trying to catch back up. I really am. I started today.
Because you're here.
But I'm here. I was here earlier. I was like, somebody told me it was me. I think you told me. Somebody told me. It's early told me. Somebody. So I decided to come back. But I'm still trying to recover because that took a lot out of me. I'm a little bit up in age here. That took a lot out of me. But I'm getting back to it, getting back to BCN. It's going to be a lot of good things on BCN now because, once again, I've been doing television and graphics again, and I'm learning, and I'm like, oh, okay, I need to do this with BCN. I need to do that. So, believe me, I'm really getting ready to expand really quickly to make it even better.
Well, this is good because what we want to do, and our Smith here is also doing. We want to do the snippets on the interview with the businesses in the area, so we can put that out there, let people know what's happening. You know, we have to do our part to support the businesses. And then I know it's ready to do. So, are you finished?
And if I add one thing about BCN, that's a Bronzeville Communications Network. We had the big rollout at the Lincoln Theater in the auditorium back in March of 2022, which was the 85th anniversary of the Bronzeville neighborhood, when they had the big ceremony in the very same room, the very same day, 85 years before. So we've had it. BCN has been up and operating for 2.5 years. And it's really made an impression with a lot of people. Thank you.
And I do want to say this, because I'm partnered with Debbie King, BCN, Bronzeville Communication Network, is actually going all around the world. So it's going to bring a lot of attention back here. It's bringing a lot of attention back, which is something that I wanted to do a long time ago. It's bringing the attention right here. So I'm just letting everybody know I do everything I say I'm going to do. Watch out. Watch out. It's going to come back. It's just going to come back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Troy has a.
I have a question for you, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm Troy Harris. I'm a child of Bronzeville. I know the Community for New Direction is overseeing neighborhood watch for a while. Are you still affiliated?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I really do not know. All I know, you talking about the neighborhood?
The neighborhood house.
Yeah, that's Moses.
Yeah. The community that has been dissolved and has all been sold to Moses and his family and his businesses to revitalize.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah. So he has it now. CMHA sold it to them. Now they're doing it.
Okay.
I want to help Moses.
Yeah, we all gonna try to help him. Yeah. Okay, we have our long and awaiting Commissioner Hutchinson.
Thanks, everyone. Eric Hutchison. I typically mention housing projects that are coming through NEAC. There's only one in next Thursday's meeting. That's Thursday. Next Thursday, is it the 19th? At 6:30 p.m. at 1393 East Broad Street. Is the first meeting where we'll see that. The project address is 1247 to 1259 Hildreth. And it's going to be 4 single-family units, similar to the project on Monroe, with those 4 lined up like that. So yeah.
So we should be there. One of us will be there. And the
Developer is on Lucy.
I'm not sure I know that off the top of my head. But I can also get that to you.
Yeah, just send that to us and we'll put it out. So someone will be there next Thursday. It's coming right back. All right. Is there any other questions? Or yeah, go ahead.
I do actually have more if that's okay.
Oh yeah, good. And you have to keep going fast. You have to catch your breath there so much, right?
Yeah. I chaired a bylaws committee, and this is connected to Bruce's update. I chaired a bylaws committee this year in which we did a fairly significant update to our bylaws. With one of those updates was with our at-large seats, where we reduced the number to align it with the 3 committees we have. But we also added an opportunity for youth engagement on our at-large seat. So last Thursday, we had a competitive appointment. In that competitive election, she won the appointment for a 1-year term.
All right.
One quick thing, the surveys that were filled out, I'll collect those and I'll take care of those for you. And then one last thing, we have another competitive election coming up. Our leadership election will be coming up in January. There are 2 of us running for chair, two chair, 2 vice chair. I'm proud to say that I am, after the work I've done past years, I am running for chair.
For Nia?
For Nia, yes.
Okay.
Running with me, vice chair, is Commissioner Hansard Humphrey. You might recall that she spoke at the PAC meeting you mentioned. We are both Bronzeville residents. We balance each other. For instance, I'm a homeowner and a newer resident. She's a long-term resident, a tenant, and member of the resident council at Legacy Point. Really appreciated her advocating for tenants in projects and that they are sustainable and be able to maintain their units for the life of the building. I'm proud to announce that I'm running with Commissioner Hansard Humphrey. And we talked a little bit about north of Mount Vernon. She also has a great desire to engage more with that area than we have been able to in the past. I've worked hard to support you, and I'd be honored to have a letter of support, if you would, to reflect that.
I'll get it out to you. When you want it.
How does the commission select the new head commissioner?
Yeah, January 9th, in our general body meeting, which also starts at 6:30. And I was at the Model Neighborhoods Building, 1393 East Broad Street. Since it is competitive, they'll probably have a question period for each of us, and then one by one they'll elect the chair first, and then the vice chair, and we'll elect secretary and treasurer as well.
So the standing commission elects new.
It is the commission that will elect its leadership. Yes, that's correct.
You need a letter from us for you being the 2.
And Commissioner Hansard Humphrey.
Just send me the we have a letter from our.
I'd be happy to.
Oh yeah, you've been very good to us.
They're gonna leave us.
No, position him in a stronger position to advocate for us.
Yeah, you can't.
He's free.
Sorry.
Yeah, what happens is the chair is chair, but they also are the District 1 commissioner. Is it still that way too? You wear 2 hats?
I will still be the District 1 commissioner. I'll still be your commissioner.
Okay, yeah.
I will still be here.
All right, that's excellent. You get that information to me, and Secretary will write up something and we'll send it back to you.
Yes.
Okay, good. All righty. I put it this way: the clock on the wall says that's all. We set out big. Oh, yeah,
One thing. I just wanted to announce again, John Mitchell, I'm with Bethany Presbyterian Church. I just want to announce on Martin Luther King Day, we're going to have a a special service. During our normal service, we're going to have Dontavius Giro is going to be the speaker. So that's going to be on the 19th, and everyone is invited.
Here. Yeah, at Bethany?
So what time?
11, what is it, 10:45 service.
And the day, and the, that's why we can put it in our notes. January? Yeah. And the time, so we can put that out there. Good.
This is January 19th.
January 19th. The next day is Martin Luther King's birthday. Or you can say something else, but I won't say that.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? Anyone have any other questions or comments? Well, good. And as I was, and also, you know, we talk about our gardening and so forth. I'm proud enough we have one of our stellar gardeners right here. You can introduce yourself so they know that she works at the gardens at the Box Bar.
Yes.
And does a wonderful job.
Amy Moore.
Amy Moore.
Yes. And also here, Breast Vegetarian.
But can you just let them know that you do a lot of good stuff?
My name is Walisha. I'm actually a birth worker,
Yes.
but I work closely with Dr. Julie Lynn Walker. And we actually had a meeting today just on food sustainability. So along with the food co-op, but just teaching people how to grow in their own space. Urban gardening is definitely something that is needed for longevity. So.
And we have another guest here. Please tell them who you are and what you do.
Oh, wonderful. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tiara Ross. I work for the Columbus City Attorney's Office. I am the Deputy Chief of our Property Action Team, formerly known as the Zone Initiative. Some of you probably know Heidi Carr, who was a member of our team, has recently transitioned on to another office, and also Louisa Edzi, who covers this area. So when you think about blight, when you think about the removal of blight from neighborhoods, we file lawsuits against slumlords every day in the city of Columbus. And so I am coming to visit for multiple reasons. I want to make sure that you all know who I am, understand who to reach out to if there's ever anything that you need. The other thing is, I heard a lot about making sure families are able to stay in their homes. And I often know that for two reasons, families are oftentimes put in jeopardy. One, because of code violations that they're unable to fix, either due to age or financial barriers. We do have an owner-occupied initiative that we work very hard to run. I actually manage that docket in the environmental court. Those are for our seniors who have been hit with code violations and are unable to fix them. So if you know of someone and you need to refer them to our office, if they have an environmental court case and they are unable to fix their code violations, we have a wealth of resources that can help to get them to a better place. I just become a docket manager at that point. I defer very heavily to our resource providers. Once they have fixed the code violations, then I dismiss the case and all of the fines that are attached to it. The other thing is predatory purchasers often use code violations as a way to engage with our seniors in neighborhoods. And so being able to educate the community on what that looks like. We are kinder, gentler folks in the environmental court. I am a prosecutor, yes, but I am oftentimes working with folks to make sure that they can stay in their homes and get their code violations remediated. For the individuals that have egregious violations or we need to be less nice, we can do that, but we understand collateral consequences of moving folks out of homes and neighborhoods on a larger scale. We want to make sure we are balancing those interests appropriately. So I hope to be able to talk to each and every one of you before I leave here today.
That's right. That's right. The card too.
Listen, it's Saturday. I do not have my work card. However, I wrote down January 11th. I don't cook, but maybe I can bring something so that I might participate in the holiday potluck. And then at that time, I'll make sure you get my information. But I hear there is a communications network.
Yeah.
So maybe I can leave my name, phone number, and email for work with BCN.
Right.
So that I can make sure that.
And also our secretary.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
And the secretary.
Yeah, we
Awesome.
I'm definitely gonna have to meet with you. Yeah, we have to.
I feel like Erica got some houses she want to report.
Yeah.
Might be.
That's very true.
I knew it.
So, but you also have like people taking advantage of that
Yeah.
system you spoke about.
Sure.
And then also I'm a secretary, so I get a ton of complaints. And we need to teach them how to use that panic button too on BCA, because I'm not the panic button. But we get a lot of complaints of people who they really need your assistance in the neighborhood with so much development. Some people are not fond of it, so there's a lot of pushback. And then also people who are taking advantage of that system you spoke about. So I definitely need to get with you after.
Yeah, I'll be happy to. Also happy to. So the way our office is kind of designed operationally, CPD splits up the city of Columbus into 6 zones. They split that up so that they can be better able to manage personnel and calls for service. I have an attorney in our shop assigned to each zone. So you all right now sit, I believe, in zone 5. However, the Near East Area Commission splits between 2 different zones now, zone 6 and zone 5. So there are 2 attorneys that would handle most of the nuisance abatement cases that come out of this area. However, you met me. And so I can be an escalation point to any of you should you have issues of concern that you need addressed in your community. And I hope to be able to meet all of you, and this is a really great meeting. So I hope to also be able to come back here and hear about the issues that you all are seeing on a daily basis. So
Thank you.
pleasure to meet you all.
All right, we will be definitely in touch with that. So, is there any other questions or comments? Well, good. As I said before, the clock on the wall says that's all. We said our bit. Now it's time for us to split. So from this time to next time, so long. Can I get a motion to have the meeting adjourned? And can I get a second?
Second.
All right.